And when I was a kid starting to drive, Meridian only had about 700, 750. Around, I must have been around 13, I guess, but I had learned back there that I could drive. There wasn't a stop sign or a light or paved street hardly or anything in Meridian. It was gravel, but just old mud streets, a lot of them. I know on Idaho Street there, when the frost would go out in the spring, the mud was about a foot deep. People going through there with horses and buggies and stuff. Cars would get stuck. They didn't even try to get in them. And so there's been a lot of changes you can see between 1920 and now. It's altogether different world here than it used to be. You know what I was thinking? I got a couple of Mail Brothers medical books and kind of studied it out. With Irma's problem, like I wound up over here at the last, it's got osteoarthritis, 2 ruptured herniated discs, and then 1 vertebrae with the healing of crescent nerves, and osteoporosis, and the shingles. Well, the aftermath of the shingles goes into a postherpetic neuralgia, which comes back on you. And if you're over 75, it might last 3 weeks, 3 months, a year, or the rest of your life. Well, that's what's happened to Irma. It's the rest of her life, I think. Now, my theory is, and the medical books say, the only way you can stop this back chronic pain is to clip the feeling nerves. Okay. Your backbone's just like a rope. It ain't got a movement nerve on it. They're all ligaments that goes out here for movements. If you want to move this way, why this pulls you over. But your backbone is just like a rope hanging down. But there's nothing but feeling nerves on it. The movement nerves are all go away from it and out from the spinal cord. And my theory is they've got instruments that can tell whether there's been water on Mars 8 billion miles away. Why can't they get an instrument, recognize that nerve, and if it's a sitting there, you ain't got, everything's fine. But if it's a moving, you know it's a hurting. Why can't they fix an instrument that they can probe in your backbone and hit them nerves, blip them and kill them nerves and get rid of the chronic pain in the back? And there's no way they can do that except to clip the nerves, and that's all medical science has ever done in the thousands of years. And there's been 3 doctors now that I mentioned. Why don't you cut that feeling nerve? Oh, that's too dangerous, we'd paralyze you. But it all comes back, she's over 90. They don't work on old people. But anyway, I think that's the reason. Well, anyway, now that's what can happen in science. In your lifetime, some darn fool that thinks like that and has got the prestige to have someone like Howard Hughes or somebody work on it, they're going to be able to develop that thing with a needle. They can poke that needle in there. It don't need an operation. A fine needle. Go down in there and find them nerves and blip them, and there they get rid of the pain in the backbone. But it'd take $1 million worth of equipment to make a machine like that.
Yeah.
But what the heck? It's better to spend $1,000 or $2,000 for a treatment and get rid of that back pain than to live with it. It's awful.